Hello, it is Tuesday, February 28th, 2023. I'm Chris Raymond. Welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Tuesday puzzle today, which means, much like yesterday, we should have a relatively gentle, themed crossword for the early bits of the week, and that's what we're going to solve. Didn't really have the rest of a sentence when I said and. It's a good tip for you. Know what you're saying when you say and. In any case, this gentle early week crossword has been brought to us by Tom Nemchek, Alan Blunder, Mitchell Turek, and, as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark and the indomitable Shoalmaster. So thank you so much to the five of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support in sustaining this channel, and thank you to all of my patrons for their generous support. I do very much appreciate it. If you'd like to become one of them, you can do so at patreon.com/dailysolve or in a link in the description field underneath the video. And I know that I still have not, this is unbelievable. I keep forgetting to put up the monthly bonus puzzle. I've just had fairly busy days, and I keep meaning to do it right after I solve today's puzzle, and then I forget because I'm on to something else. I will get to that. Today's my last chance to do it. The last day of February, so it's the last date to post it within the appropriate month, so I will do that today. All right. In any case, as a benefactor, you can get access to the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug. And if you're a patron at any other level, of course, you can get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel, including, soon enough, the February monthly bonus puzzle. Sorry about that delay. In any case, thank you to all of my patrons. You can find a link in the description field underneath the video, or go to patreon.com/dailysolve. And do also subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server in another link under the video. So all of that is available. Thank you to everybody who has availed themselves of any of that. So let's get on to today's crossword. This is a debut construction by Gia Bosco. So welcome to her, and we'll see what her constructing skills have brought to us in this debut. And it was edited, as always, by Will Schwartz. So let's start solving. All right, a gin flavoring fruit is slow. This is certainly the official sort of gin additive of the New York Times crossword, if such a thing can be justified in existing. A big gulp could be a swig of liquid, and Fallon's predecessor on The Tonight Show. Right, so I wouldn't have specifically known the order of this, but Jay Leno was a talk show host, so in 4 letters with an L, that must be who it is. If one chooses, one opts, makes a choice. And shared cultural values could be referred to as an ethos, I suppose, an ethic, an ethos. I think probably in this case. Disband, go soft? Disband, go solo. Right, if you were a member of a band and then you release a solo album, you could have been said possibly to disband, to remove yourself from the band. One way 38 across is offered, and 38 across is a colorful meal in a Dr. Seuss story. Surely this is green eggs and ham, and that will be referred to. Oh, right. Okay, so this is going to be all the different ways in the book, green eggs and ham, all the ways the meal was offered. I don't remember. In the something, and then it's with a something, and all of, I don't know. I'm going to have to just get them all from, I think I'm going to have to get all of these from crosses, even though it's a very straightforward theme. I don't know that I'm going to remember the specifics. All right, Vogue competitor, that's a magazine. So L is a competing magazine. And a slovenly sort is a slob, slow slob. Well, I was referring to this slow because it just reminded me of it. It's assonant relationship. Psychedelic fungus, slangily, is a shroom. Mushroom, of course. And an Edinburgh, for one, is a Scot, because Edinburgh is in Scotland. And spy organization, the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, right. Toledo's home, not Toledo, Spain, but Toledo, Ohio. And syllables sung in The Farmer and the Dell. So, hi-ho. Is that hi? No, I'm thinking of the song from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Is it also hi-ho, The Farmer and the Dell? Farmer and the hi-ho, yes, hi-ho the Dario, The Farmer and the Dell. It's the same. The Lone Ranger's Companion. I've actually never seen a single Lone Ranger sort of thing. I've never seen any version of this, but I've heard of the Lone Ranger's companion Tonto. So there we go. So in the rain, it's one way green eggs and ham is offered by the Sam I Am character. Big name in elevators. Otis was an inventor, elevator, and namesake of the company. Well, maybe not inventor, but builder. I don't know who invented the elevator. The modern elevator, anyway. Photo sharing app familiarly is Insta for Instagram, hence the familiarly part, the abbreviated version of it. And another way 38 across is offered. It'll be on the or on a, probably on a, to give us room for the rest of it to come in. Abandoned is, not sure. Y's in roads are forks, forks in the road. Oh, and I just noticed this clue that I hadn't seen. Jesus blank, shortest verse in the Bible. Jesus wept, sort of famously short verse in the Bible. That I guess is in the center of the Bible. I mean, in some way people say, but I think that must depend on what version of the Bible being referred to. I don't know if it's the King James Version or something else. Producer of Tears in the Kitchen, or Tears maybe? Tears or Tears, which is, probably Tears, an onion. And if something is forsaken. Yes, you've been abandoned, you've been forsaken. All right, it shares a computer key with an exclamation point would be the number 1, and mercilessly criticizes would be rips on somebody or something. Something's not an original. It's a reproduction. I'm not certain about this. That works with the rip bit. The K of K-pop would be Korean pop, and overbearing and unpleasant, say, is snobby or snotty, maybe? Overbearing. Snobby is sort of an overbearing quality. Was that certainly what it is? I don't know. Collect it all. Not sure. Another way 38 is offered, right? On a... Would you like it on a... I just can't remember. Some people are going to have been able to just fly through this theme, I think. But I'm not one of them, unfortunately. Like a latte made with non-fat milk in cafe lingo. Skinny, I guess? That must be what that refers to, a skinny latte. I've sort of heard that phrase before, and I never thought to think what it is. But yes, skim milk makes sense. So mercilessly criticizes as rips on, and collect it all. What is it? Collect it all. Oh, a set. You collect all parts of a set. I was looking down at my keyboard for inspiration, and it worked. So this exclamation point is sort of odd, and what this tends to mean is we're saying the clue about the answer rather than using it to define or work as a synonym of the answer. So about a set, you might say collect it all. Collect each member of it. And the overbearing and unpleasant is not snobby, which would have seemed odd, but snotty, which isn't exactly how I suppose that's fair enough. Overbearing and snotty are the bits that I wouldn't have thought to sort of use to define each other, but yeah, I see it. Overbearing and unpleasant. The say, I guess, helps, because this is one way you could be snotty, is to be overbearing and unpleasant. Fair enough. On a boat is, I guess, one of the ways green eggs and ham is offered. And swallows are birds, examples of birds, e.g., an example of. Hang around aimlessly is to loiter. And utter nonsense is bilge, complete nonsense, rubbish, tripe. Kuwaiti leader could be an emir, leader of an emirate, and a name that's practically synonymous with synonyms. Roger, the thesaurus namesake, famously is synonymous with synonyms because synonyms are listed in thesauruses. All right, faith with the holy site in Mecca is, of course, Islam, and a swamp-dwelling salamander is what? A swamp-dwelling salamander. Probably, I assume I'll recognize it when I see it, but I can't think for some reason. Notorious blank, one-time Supreme Court nickname, Notorious RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and a soccer official informally is a ref or referee. To make a misstep is to err, and service charge is a fee, and coffee or tea is a brew. Of course, you brew those liquids, right? I already knew her. We met, I suppose, yeah. Still can't see the swamp-dwelling salamander. Why can't I guess what this is? Not sure. Dietary vitamin or mineral. Niacin or something? I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's keep looking around. Dirt is soil, possibly. I'm not sure. Let's check the crosses. Gardening tool, yes, could be a hoe. To afflict with an illness is to ail a person. And an annual January honoree is MLK, Martin Luther King, who I think had a very similar clue in the crossword yesterday or the day before. A Yellowstone herd animal must be an elk. And if you say toodaloo to someone, you say ta-ta, I'm off. Part of an Abraham Lincoln costume would be a top hat. Famously, he's pictured. Is it a top hat? Stove? What was it? What is it called? A stovepipe hat or something? Think of a top hat as being the sort of more formal version of it, but it's probably still what the answer is. Start of a spell is maybe abra as in abracadabra, and disorderly crowds are mobs. Popeye creator LZ, oh, I'm not sure. Don't think I know that name. Calc for many an engineering major. So calc for calculus, meaning the shortening of calculus will suggest this answer is also abbreviated. So prerequisite, right? Sorry, I was on the completely wrong track with that. I was trying to think of another mathematical term, but that was wrong. I was looking for a term related to university courses. So prerequisite, shortened to prereq. Right. COVID-19 informally. Oh, Rona, as in an abbreviation of the coronavirus. Right. I didn't see people use Rona very often. I remember very early in the pandemic, it felt like people were trying to get that abbreviation going, and then I just didn't see it used very often. Grub is eats, food, chow. A cotton swab brand is a Q-tip, of course. And to speak with a hoarse voice is to rasp, as I sometimes do in the early morning recording these crosswords. If you're opposed to something, you're anti-it. And, LZ Seeger, maybe? Popeye creator LZ? I don't know. Oh, another way 38 across is offered is, well, not in a boat here. With a goat? It's funny, these crosses are actually slightly tricky because this could be so many things. Because they're sort of nonsense rhymes in a way, it's sort of entirely arbitrary what they could be. But I think it's with a goat. I sort of vaguely remember that's one of the ways that Green Eggs and Ham are offered, and that does fit Seeger there. Let's just leave it and see what happens. Ooh, I didn't need to know that. TMI, too much information. And Watson who portrayed Hermione Granger. I guess it must have been Emma Watson. Is that true? Am I thinking of the right person? I would have thought she was too old. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else, probably. All right, knucklehead is a simpleton. Last time this word came up, people objected to it, and I think there's a sort of newer slang version of the word simp that people use that has sort of misogynistic overtones, but it's also a completely separate sense of the word that simply refers to a simpleton it's just a way to call someone a dunce or something like that, that's been around for centuries, and that's what's going on here. So I think some people are just less aware of that longer standing term because it isn't the one that was sort of has popped up in internet usage and very recently. Although even that use goes back to the 90s, I gather from research I did last time this came up. In any case, just wanted to give people that context. Barbecue rod is a spit for roasting meats. And Carrie of the Princess Bride is Carrie Elwes. Woes are ills. And Ford. Oh, I was thinking of Emma Thompson. Sorry, when I thought of Emma Watson. Sorry, I know that must have been an incredibly weird aside I had there. I haven't actually seen these films, which is why I guess I reacted that way. But I was thinking of Emma Thompson. I'm like 195% sure. Sorry. Anyway, it just popped into my head just a second ago. Ford flop of the 1950s is the Ford Edsel, which was a famously poorly performing car. And I still don't recognize this swamp-dwelling salamander. Attacks from all sides. Sieges? No. Yeah, look at that. I'm sort of running out of steam in this little corner. Another way 38 across is offered. Up a tree. Huge favor. And make possible. Oh, in a tree maybe? Enable a huge favor. Does that help with huge favor? A big ask. There we go. It did help. Attacks from, besets, it's a verb, not a noun. So, right, if the group attacks from all sides, the group besets their target. Leg in old slang is gam. That's a way to refer to a leg. And in old films, sort of stereotypically used to describe women's legs in particular. One who won't take no for an answer regarding 38 across, right? The character Sam I Am, the sort of pestering character of that story, who besets his target, who refuses the green eggs and ham. To endure is to abide hardship, for instance, and like the dragon at the end of a hero's tale is generally slain. If something is neat and tidy, it's kempt as opposed to unkempt. And guacamole, for one, is a dip, and a dietary vitamin or mineral is a nutrient, of course. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Oh, and a mud eel is the swamp-dwelling salamander. I don't think I was familiar with that. That doesn't ring a bell to me. But let's see if it validates. It does. Look at that an exact clean 15 minutes and 0 seconds. So we will just do a little recap of our theme here. Themed around the Dr. Seuss story, Green Eggs and Ham. A very nice, incredibly simple theme, but one that does require a bit of knowledge and context. I mean, if you genuinely had absolutely no familiarity with the story Green Eggs and Ham, this actually would be something of a confounding theme, I think, because you wouldn't really necessarily understand the format that's being asked of you, per se. So I think at least I did know that, as I would imagine many people do, but maybe coming from certain cultural contexts, you wouldn't. But so I'm curious to know if anyone was baffled by this. Probably most people watching this, I'm guessing, would have heard this story. In any case, green eggs and ham were offered in the rain, on a boat, in a tree, and with a goat. And it's nice that I wonder if this is actually I wonder if this is the order in which these particular options were presented, because it does, the on a boat and with a goat does rhyme. So it does come together in that sense anyway. I don't know. I don't remember, but that would be nice if true. And I'm a little bit short on time, but I am going to take a moment I will review a few clues from yesterday's puzzle because I am trying to get back in that habit. So let's take a look. I think I had 2 or 3. 3. So I'm Eden explains sun bears, which were one of our bears that comprised part of yesterday's theme, are the most timid bears out there. They are indeed a bear and not a faux bear. So that's good to know. They are categorized by their very distinctive white V's stemming from the upper middle of their torso to their shoulders. And I did look them up, and indeed, they're adorable little sun bears. And Mr. EQ has a nice explanation here. As far as water goes, its liquid state is the most dense, more so than ice. We can tell by the way a bottle of water will expand when frozen and contract when thawed, and then expand again if heated up. And gas is, for any element where it applies, the least dense, and can be arbitrarily undense since it will expand to fill any container. Of course, that makes sense. And then, let's see, a few more people added about this. Ryan S. said, to add on, typically density goes from solid to liquid to gas. However, water famously breaks this pattern because its density is liquid, then solid, then gas, due to the shape and polarity of water molecules. And Brian had a similar comment saying that water doesn't follow the same pattern. Almost everything else does. So there we go. Thank you for that clarification about those clues and the in-depth explanation of how water differs in its sort of density rules across states. That was very interesting, especially given I chose water, I think understandably, because it's the substance with which we're all familiar across all three states, I suppose. Water, ice, and steam are all, to some extent, common elements in our lives, unlike the three states of most other substances. So useful to know. It's an unusual material in that respect. And in any case, I'll be back tomorrow for the Wednesday crossword midweek mid-difficulty puzzle. Hope you join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Tuesday. Take care.